Santa Boo, everybody, and welcome back to the HabWrap. You are listening to the friendliest and funniest source for anything and everything Montreal Canadiens. I'm your host, Harry Rice, and, is probably the best way to describe the game that was played tonight. We were playing the Detroit Red Wings, so that's not much of a surprise. They play probably the most boring style of hockey in the NHL this season. We'll talk about the game. Let's just get right to the opening lineups, because I don't want to spend more than 20 minutes on this game and waste both mine and your time, so let's just do that. The opening lines for the Canadiens were Caulfield, Suzuki, Texier, Slavkovsky, Kapanen, Demidov, Bolduc, Danault, Gallagher, and Blais, Veleno, Beck. Nothing changes so far. Matheson, Dobson, Hudson, Carrier, and Guhle, Jackeye. So nothing changes. Wait. Guhle? That's right. Kaiden Guhle has returned to the lineup for the Montreal Canadiens. He has been out since October. So almost 4 months out of action. Good to see him back. I'm glad that they did give him third pairing minutes, just ease him back into the game. I'd imagine they're flipping him and Matheson sometime soon, because Matheson is still not playing like the defenseman that he is supposed to be playing like. But we shall see. Jacob Fowler gets the start net for the Canadiens, and Jakub Dobeš backs him up. He gives Samuel Montembeault the night off completely. I thought that this would have been a game that Dobeš plays if they want to run a 3-goalie system, but my guess is that Dobeš is the third string. I think that he's probably getting sent down sooner rather than later, just given how good Fowler and Monty have both been in their last 3 to 4 games. I mean, Fowler is his last 6 games, if you include tonight, which I do. But yeah, if you look at that, Dobeš, he sucked his last 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9 starts, something like that. He needs to be back in Laval sooner rather than later. The opening lines for the Red Wings now were Finney, Larkin, Casper, DeBrincat, Kopp, Kane, Van Riemsdyk, Comfer, Raymond, and Soderblom, Rasmussen, and Appleton up front. On the blue line, it's Edvinsson, Seider, Schrott, Sandin, Pellikka, and Johansson. That is Albert, not Marcus. Don't know why Marcus will be playing the blue line, but it's Johansson and Bernard Docker. John Gibson obviously gets the start in net for the Red Wings, and Cam Talbot backs him up like he has been doing. Before the game, there was a nice little pregame ceremony for the Hockey is for Everyone thing. They brought out some kids to be with all the players. It's the same thing they sort of do during the Hockey Fights Cancer Month, where they have the kids come out, stand next to the players during the anthem. That's always cool to see. This is where I noted that Guhle is back. Suzuki gets on a break off a carry pass in the opening minute, but the shot is just wide. The Canadiens nearly get called for too many men twice in the opening 2 minutes. Not even opening minute and a half, I'm pretty sure. Guhle gets on the ice. He gets his first touch of the puck. A big ovation from the crowd. Montreal was very hot for the first period. Once the Red Wings took over the game, unfortunately, well, not even took over. Once the Red Wings scored, unfortunately, it was just you can see the writing on the wall very early on, I think. Edvinsson ends up boarding Bolduc along the benches. There's no call. Habs have a good push. There's a hold at the line, but that ends up getting sent back out. Cole with a good D play to break up a look for Kopp. Guhle has a good reverse hit behind the net. Habs then get a 2-on-1 moments later, as Kapanen gets to Demidov. The shot goes through the 5-hole, but it's slow enough that Gibson's able to recover before it gets to the line. Damn it. Jackeye has a turnover. Raymond on the puck. The shot goes off the post and out of the zone. Despite that turnover for Jackeye, the rest of his game was really good. I thought Arbor Jackeye legitimately played a wonderful game tonight. When he doesn't have to be stuck with Jaden Struble or Adam Engstrom and has to carry his line mate to a respectable game, when he has Guhle beside him, and he can play a legit game, he knows Guhle can play a legit game too, he's not afraid to get up in there. He had some good offensive looks. I thought Jackeye had a very good defensive game. And I'd almost be fine with Guhle staying on the third pair if it means Jackeye gets a boost. You keep the top four basically the same that you've had it in recent months. And again, you get Guhle and Jackeye, who seem to have a little bit of chemistry. I'd have no issue with that whatsoever. Habs then go to a penalty kill 7 minutes in. Carrier's called for a hold. We ended up missing most of the power play due to lag with our service. But from what I saw, the Habs didn't let Detroit get all that much. The Habs would go 1-for-1 on the penalty kill. And they go to the penalty kill again. Gallagher's called for a high stick on a diving Rasmussen. That call comes with just about 9 minutes left. There's a good clear on a shot block. Carrier tries to clear, but it just gets held in. Larkin ends up passing to Seider, but it's by his stick and goes all the way down. Kane cycles around. There is an eventual shot. That gets held by Fowler. Habs are 2 for 2 on the penalty kill tonight. Habs look depressed. There's a good first line push. Caulfield has a shot just off the mask of Gibson. That almost goes home. Red Wings get some good passing around, but a little bit of better Canadiens D. There's a lot of dump and chase in the last 5. All throughout the night, the Canadiens were going to the dump and chase often, and it wasn't working. I find it so weird that there's specific teams the Canadiens use the dump and chase on, and others that they're just fine, just, all right, get it in, cycle, rush, do whatever you want. And then with teams like Detroit that are very defensive, very low effort, low shot, but high quality, the way that Detroit is, it's so weird that you resort immediately to the dump and chase. Well, not immediately, but at this point they did. It's just weird. Like, the Islanders are another team that we always use the dump and chase on. Both teams tried to figure each other out for the first part, for the first period. At the time of the second penalty kill when it started, I believe the shots were tied at 1 apiece. There's a little bit of offense, a couple shots in the second half, but that first half was very exactly. The Habs ice a puck with 2:23 left. Good bit of stick play by the Wings to stop any potential Canadiens D. Hudson and Demidov almost connect in the last seconds. These shots are 6-4 for the Canadiens. Why do I feel like that was wrong? It was 6-3 actually for the Red Wings, and a scoreless first period, unfortunately. In the second period, we actually missed the first 5 minutes. Again, because of lag, unfortunately. Texier had gotten called for 2 for a rough on Comfer. Wings would control. Fowler makes some good saves. Red Wings get control. And eventually Raymond would end up scoring. It's on a dump. The Red Wings are a dump, basically. But it's on a dump. It just goes off the board where the Zamboni comes out. Well, one of the boards. And I forget who it was who pointed it out, but it was a really, really good thing to point out that Fowler isn't used to the boards at the Bell Center yet. It bounces off right in front. Fowler goes behind the net thinking it's just going to be played there, and Lucas Raymond just ends up with a wide open net. He puts it home. Can't blame Fowler for that one. Again, he's not used to the boards yet. He just expects it to be a normal, dump around the boards, and Red Wings get very lucky. They do make it 1-0. Raymond with his 14th goal of the season. He scores from Van Riemsdyk and Jacob Bernard-Docker, which I believe that is his first point as a Red Wing. I believe. It might be. I'm not sure, though. But yeah, that just sucks. That's really all you can say about that goal. Habs do get some chances. There's a Guhle eventually a Guhle shot held by Gibson. Gallagher nearly gets found on a break. Deneau almost ties the game. Hudson rushes in. He looks for something sneaky. There's a Caulfield shot blocked and out. And then the Canadiens go to a power play shortly after. Finney gets called for holding Dobson's stick. The fans actually booed at first. They thought Dobson was going to get called for a holding, it was a hooking they thought he was going to get called for. But no, Canadiens get the power play. There was a good early push, just can't find anything on net. Demidov has a good one-timer, that's wide. Wings end up clearing. Caulfield shoves Sandin Pellikka after Gibson covers the puck. Sherrod ends up gloving him from behind. We get a bit of a scrum. Sherrod, unfortunately, we're not getting ass-kicking. He wouldn't also give an ass-kicking either. Sherrod was too much of a bitch to actually fight anybody, unfortunately. Kapanen has a good slot chance. That does get stopped with the pad. The wings end up clearing. Bolduc has a look. That's also saved. I believe that was also with the pad. Habs end up going 0 for 1 on the power play tonight. The Wings rush. Finney has a long shot held by Fowler, and then the Wings go to the power play. Too many men called. You let it go twice. You can't let it go the third time, and that's understandable. And the Red Wings score, unfortunately. 5 seconds in, it's good old Brokeneck. He scores his 23rd of the year from DeBrincat and Cider at 11:43, so just about 8 minutes left in the period. That sucks for the Canadiens. The Habs, of which are 3 for 4 on the penalty kill tonight so far. So, ironically, a very good penalty kill, not a good power play, not good 5-on-5 tonight. I mentioned it the other game. I'm pretty sure Canadiens either go 0 for 1 on the penalty kill or they go 7 for 7. There's no in between. Their power play either, due to how many power play penalties they take, either 0% or like 93%. It's one or the other. It's never, they went 2 for 5. Oh, they went 5 for 8. It's never anything like that. Wings ice a puck off of a face-off one. Habs can't push. Hudson tries desperately to create a little bit of offense. Matheson then goes for a skate, goes around the net, back to the blue line. He eventually loses it, because why wouldn't he? Bolduc and Gallagher go to a 2-on-1. Bolduc shoots wide. Funny enough, Gallagher was almost wide open at the net. I get why Bolduc took the shot. Gallagher probably would have missed anyways. Suzuki on a rush, shot held by Gibson. Jack-Eye then, during a puck battle with a huge shoulder-to-shoulder hit on Comfort behind the net. You love to see it. Gives him a little bit less aggressive hit a couple seconds later. That's always fun to see. This is what I mean when Jack-Eye had a great game. He was throwing the body. He was getting involved offensively. Jack-Eye probably should have had 2 points tonight, honestly. I think he should have had 2 assists. At the very least, a goal and an assist. I thought Jack-Eye had a very strong game. He was very noticeable for the Canadiens. I'd arguably say he was their best player tonight, which I'm not going to say that, maybe that shows how bad the Canadiens were tonight, but I'm going to say that's a good game for Robert Jack-Eye. I'm going to be very positive and say that much. Fowler has a good sharp angle shot at the post. Red Wings have gotten a good amount of tricky shots, but Fowler's mostly been stable. Habs with some press. Caulfield has a shot, but just can't get it home with Gallagher in front. That comes off of a good Dobson and Hudson drive to the net. Wings ice a puck with some exhausted Wings out there, but the Canadiens can't find anything. Shots are 14-12 Wings. They have a 2-0 lead after the second period. In the third period, the Wings score 34 seconds in on a slapper from DeBrincat. It's off a bit of a weird pass from, not a weird pass from Patrick Kane, but it's just more of a drop pass to the side. It's in the slot. DeBrincat gets it. A really solid shot to beat Jacob Fowler. Fowler, he just barely had any time to react. It was a really good shot from DeBrincat. He makes it 3-0 from Kane and Kopp, which, ironically, I don't think Kane likes the Cops. He doesn't like taxi drivers, I know that much. There's a Caulfield shot deflected out by Gibson. Caulfield then gets 2 more looks. One gets stopped up high. The second chance is just wide. Matheson from the line, he might have actually had a third one that also went wide. One went high and wide, one went left bar wide of the left bar, I should say. Matheson from the line has a shot. There's no traffic. That easily gets gloved and held. Beck has a one-timer, but he doesn't get all of it, unfortunately. Soderblom. Let me try that again, Jesus. Soderblom. There we go. Words are very tricky. He looks to pressure, but Fowler holds a shot that he had fired upon him. I knew that line was going to trick me up. Matheson tries to pinch at a line. He almost gives the puck away, but Dobson is back in time to stop Kane. Mike Matheson needs to stop doing that. There's been like 8 freaking goals scored on the Canadiens because Matheson does that. Dobson then gets a rush chance. There's a near goal for the Habs. Matheson and JVR were engaged with each other for a good minute. JVR gave a little cross check to Matheson behind one play. Back up the ice the other way. They're dueling in front of the net. Matheson eventually gloves JVR, sends him down. Love to see that. One of the few times Matheson is actually good at being a hockey player. Wings do eventually ice a puck. There's a Dobson shot redirected out of play on a tip in front. Caulfield then gloves Larkin down. You'll love to see it. Good old broke neck. Jack-Eye then trips up Gibson in the crease. You'll love that. Habs fans go wild for that. Soderblom then gets robbed twice by Fowler. Very good pair of stops there. And then Appleton is down because he gets a high stick from Soderblom. So Soderblom all over this shift. Appleton, it looks like he got a cut in his inner lip. That's going to hurt. I do not envy being Mason Appleton right now. Yeah. Caulfield finally gets something from Montreal, but it gets stopped. Caulfield then eats a high stick. There's no call. JVR checks him from behind. Nothing there. Thankfully, it wasn't super aggressive. It was just one of those just right against the boards, hits him in the numbers, and yeah. Suzuki has a chance. He goes to Texier. That gets broken up. Casper has a good look, but Fowler with the pad stop on the wrap. Wings ice a puck. There's a rush, but a pad save for Fowler. Blay then with a big hit along the boards. And Kapanen takes a stupid call. He hits Sider late, but that's not called. Just a good aggressive late hit. Punches him in the face after, and that gets called. Gordie Howe called. It's not 1950 anymore. You can't do that and get away with it. So with 9 minutes left, the Habs go to the penalty kill. The third period was a little bit more open than the rest of the game. Given there were 25 total shots in this game, yeah, no, it's just, yeah. Yeah, the third was a little bit more open. Wings do get some small press, but there's really nothing. Deneau finds Suzuki with a shorthanded look, but that's saved. Texier and Veleno get a shorthanded 2-on-1, but the shot is deflected just wide. Good kill by the Canadiens. They go 4 for 5 on the night. Demidov, at this point, is on the top line. This is about 5-6 minutes left, so they're not trusting Texier anymore, unfortunately. Well, I don't think it's a lack of trust. I think it's just, hey, Demidov's the best player not on the top line. Put him on the top line. Suzuki gets a good look. Jack-Eye with 2 shots. One's deflected wide. The other is just wide. Kane goes back the other way off a failed hold-in at the line. And Jack-Eye there, 2 good hits to stop the break chance for Patrick Kane. If this is the game that really breaks Jack-Eye out into being a very reliable third-pairing defenseman instead of just a good 6th defenseman, but a good third-pairing defenseman, I'd be very happy with that. I hope that Arbor looks at his highlights from this game and realizes that's the way that we want him to be playing. Not just throwing the body and fighting, providing a little bit of offense once in a while, being good defensively, being a bit aggressive when he needs to be. You love to see it. What I also kind of don't mind seeing, especially down by 3, Fowler's pulled with 4:50 left. We were going with the empty net with a face-off to the right of Gibson. DeBrincat ends up beating out 2 Canadiens for an icing. They just stopped skating. DeBrincat skated straight ahead. Brokeneck sends a shot out of play. Fowler's out when the Habs begin to get up ice. Or I said he was back in, but he comes out again when the Habs get up ice. There's a puck battle won by Detroit, but they ice it with 3:55. There's a Matheson shot almost put home by Kapanen, but it just trickles wide. Gallagher and Bolduc are out there with 2 minutes left, so we're not scoring. I have no clue why the hell we're playing Brendan Gallagher and Zach Bolduc so much. They should genuinely be 4th liners 9 minutes a night. Bolduc, I get he had his hot streak early in the season, so I get why he gets a little bit of playing time. But realistically, should be 4th line, 2nd power play time. That's all I would give him. Right now, at least. Let it once he starts to get hot next season, turns into a legit 20-goal scorer, 3rd liner, then that's when you give him a little bit more ice time. Matheson has a really good hold at the line, as the line actually was getting some pressure. Bolduc is in the slot, but that's wide, and Gallagher goes offside as the Canadiens look to rush in. Caulfield finds a shot off the mask of Gibson. Suzuki gets it at the side of the net, but it's blown dead. He doesn't get it in the net, but he grabs it. It's like he's going for a wraparound. But the refs thought Gibson had it. They blow it dead very quickly. Dobson can't hold a puck in. It eventually rolls back just off the side of the net. The Habs do eventually get it back up ice. Wings get a nice. Wings are called for an icing with 1:30 left. Off the draw, the Red Wings do get it. It's skated up ice, and Andrew Kopp with a 3-point night. Just the 2-point night. A 2-point third period, I should say. He scores off a DeBrincat shot. He just gets that little extra boost to put it home. He scores from DeBrincat and broke neck with just about 1:07 left. It's 4-0 Wings. The Habs looked to just break the shutout, but they couldn't. The final shots are 27-24 for the Canadiens. John Gibson with, I believe they said, his 4th shutout this year. I've always liked John Gibson. Hate that he's in Detroit because, again, I like John Gibson. But, the Wings win 4-0. That sucks. You erase this game. Well, for the most part, again, aside from Jack-Eye. Hopefully Jack-Eye takes his good from this game and keeps that going forward. But aside from Jack-Eye, you move on to Vancouver. The Canadiens, they look tired tonight. That's really all there was to it. This is, the third game in 4 nights. Especially after the back-to-back where you played really, really good for both games. You just move on from this game. You're probably very, very tired. Aside from Guhle, I thought Guhle had a good return to the Canadiens roster. I thought he had a good pace to him. I guess you could say aside from the bottom pair defensively, everybody else move on from this game, forget it happened, and just go to Vancouver. But yeah, we were just tired tonight. I don't think it's a game where you look at it and think, oh, this is the start of the Canadiens, downfall or whatever. We're not the Anaheim Ducks. We're not going to lose 10 in a row. We're not the Winnipeg Jets. Thank God. We're a legitimate, competent franchise. But, you move on to... I say that we're going to lose 8-0 to Vancouver now. Jesus Christ. I guess that means Dobesh is starting that game, probably. But yeah. So, yeah, like I say, you just move on to Vancouver. They've lost 5 in a row. They're allowing, 5 goals on average in the last 5. So, you move on to that game. You come out. You play a better game. You play the way you did against Florida and Calgary. Tomorrow is going to be a very key day off. The only thing is that you do play Washington on Tuesday as well, so that's going to be a bit of a tough game. So you might want to take it a bit easy in Vancouver because they apparently are very, very bad right now. But either way, you come out, play a good game, please and thank you. Again, not really much to take out of this game aside from Jack-Eye played well. I thought Guhle had a good return to the NHL. I guess return to the NHL. I mean, more or less just return to the Canadiens. He missed 4 months. But, aside from that, you just move on and play a game. So, yeah, we're going to get into the stats now because, again, I don't think there was really that much to talk about in this game aside from just how I think it went down, why I think it went down, which, again, Canadiens were tired. So, yeah. Again, let's get into these stats for the Canadiens and then get on out of here because, again, I don't need to waste your time more than I already have tonight. So, yeah. So, who leads the Canadiens? Come on, Nick Suzuki. We're going to try and ruffle through this quickly. If you watch the last game stats, then you'll know who has what points. I just had a stroke. Nick Suzuki has 14 goals, 34 assists, 48 points. He unfortunately loses his 3-game assist streak. Lane Hudson with 8 goals and 36 assists for 44 points. Cole Caulfield with 21 goals and 21 assists for 42 points. Ivan Demidov with 10 goals, 26 assists for 36 points. Yaroslavkovsky with 16 goals, 19 assists for 35 points. Noah Dobson, 8 goals, 20 assists for 28 points. Oliver Kapanen, 15 goals, 11 assists for 26 points. Mike Matheson has 4 goals and 4 goals, 16 assists for 20 points. Zach Bolduc with 10 goals, 7 assists for 17 points. He is now in an 8-game pointless drought. Alexander Texier with 7 goals, 7 assists for 14 points. He has 6 points in now his last 3 games. Brendan Gallagher with 3 goals, 11 assists for 14 points. Josh Anderson, who is hurt, has 9 goals, 4 assists, 13 points. Alex Newhook, who is unfortunately still hurt, with 6 goals, 6 assists, 12 points. Alexander Carrier with goal and 11 assists for 12 points. He actually also breaks a 3-game assist streak. I didn't even realize that he had that going, but yeah, he does. Jake Evans, who is unfortunately still hurt, has 5 goals, 5 assists for 10 points. Kirby Dach, who is unfortunately also still hurt. He and Laine, though, did actually skate with the Canadiens today. No contact jerseys, but That's still good. He has 5 goals, 2 assists for 7 points on the year. Jaden Struble has 6 assists. Sammy Blais with 2 goals, 3 assists for 5 points. Joe Veleno, 2 goals and 2 assists for 4 points. Phil Deneau with 3 assists. Kaiden Guhle and Arbor Jacki. I don't get to say that Goule's hurt anymore. Guhle and Arbor Jacki with a goal and an assist for 2 points each. Owen Beck with a goal. Patrick Laine, who is unfortunately still hurt. Florian Jacki and Jared Davidson, who are both still in Laval, all have an assist this year. Arbor Jacki rocking a 13-game pointless drought, and Owen Beck on a 6-game pointless drought. Speaking of 6, Arbor Jacki leads the Canadiens with 6 fights. Josh Anderson and Jaden Struble each have 2 fights. Joe Veleno, Kaiden Guhle, and Florian Jacki all have a fight this year. As for the goaltending, Jakub Dobeš still leads the way with a 13-5-3 record, a 3.01 goals against average, and an 8.89 save percentage. Samuel Montembeault with an 8-6-1 record, a 3.39 goals against average, and an 8.69 save percentage. Jacob Fowler with a 4-3-2 record, a 2.46 goals against average, a 9.08 save percentage, and the lone shutout for the Canadiens this year. So yeah, that is going to do it for this episode of the HabWrap. Thank you all so much for watching. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Hit the follow button if you're on Spotify, Amazon, wherever you might be listening to this on. Yeah, that is again going to do it. Thank you all. My name is Harris. I've been your host. Please do not forget to share the podcast with anybody who you think might enjoy it, such as a fellow Montreal Canadiens fan, a hockey fan who might be looking to listen to a Canadiens podcast, or share it with somebody who you think might just enjoy listening to some fat kid from Quebec talk about the Montreal Canadiens for half an hour after every game. That is going to do it for this episode of the HabWrap. Thank you all so much for watching. My name is Harris, and always remember, no matter how good we are like this year, how pretty good we are like this year, or how great we'll be in the future, go Habs go, Allez Montreal, and say it with me everybody, C'est le but!